everybody. In this video I will be discussing the number one thing that makes people talk to me, offline at least, which is my shark bite piercings. And if you aren't aware, shark bite piercings are the double-sided piercings on your lower lip, so like 4 piercings total, a couple on each side of your mouth, like snake bites but doubled up. So, since they're piercings, as you can guess, the number one question I get is, did it hurt to get? And the answer is, of course it hurt. It hurt because they stuck a needle through my lip, through and through. But the thing is, it did not hurt too much. I actually did not make any reaction, which the piercer was very pleased with. He thought I handled it like a pro. And I had a worse experience with the second 2 I got, because it hurt a lot more, and I still had no visible response when I got it. However, one of my eyes did water up because it was very, very painful that time. But the thing is, when I got my second 2 piercings, it hadn't been the full healing time since I had gotten the first 2 piercings, which was not a good idea. It was a little unsafe, but with my charisma, I managed to convince the piercer to pierce me again, though it was mostly because my wounds were healing very, very well. There was no pus, no swelling, and there was no pain, so I was like, hey, why the heck not? And that actually went well as well, only it was very painful, and that time I did bleed a good amount. But I wouldn't say it was worth it because I'm very glad I got the second 2. The first 2 piercings I got, the original snake bites, were actually a little uneven, so the shark bites really helped even it out. But also I love shark bites a lot and I love the way they look. I actually had wanted snake bites since I was maybe 12 years old. It was a specific desire I had. And I had actually asked my father's permission for it when I was younger, and he turned it down, so I did it again, like last year, and I got the okay to do it. So I went through with it, and I have not regretted it because I really do adore these piercings. I really do love mouth piercings in general. They just look so nice to me, and I think they're very, very cute, which people don't seem to agree with me on. They seem to think it looks cool, if anything, and I just happen to find certain things cute because that's usually the appeal I find in most things. Ultimately, I had been wanting snake bites at least for about 10 years before I finally got them, and it was not a regret when I finally did get them. The only thing that made me slightly regret it, which is what made me get the second 2 piercings, was the unevenness of the original piercings. And that's been fixed. They're much more even now, and I love them a lot. I am glad that I got them, and I like how I look much more with them. Plus, like, you can get the coolest jewelry for your lips. There are rings, and there are studs, and there are certain shape studs, and there are certain colors like aluminum or whatever metally look it has where there are many colors to it. It's very cool looking, and I've wanted some of those, but I'm not sure how they would look on me, so I haven't actually gone with them yet. What I wear all of the time now would be little black spikes, and the length of them would be 5/16 of an inch, I think. The size I got was 14 gauge, which is bigger than usual, it seems. It's on the bigger side of the 2 usual ones, which is 14 gauge and 16 gauge. 16 gauge is the smaller one, and it seems like it's the more common one because no matter where I go to find piercing jewelry, they only seem to have 16 gauge, and the ones that are 14 gauge are very sparse, and there are very few options for me offline. Maybe it's because I live in a smaller city, even though it's not that small. There's just not a lot of people advertising piercing jewelry here. So I don't have too many options, but I also don't have a network of contacts that could lead me to where I should be going for it. I've just checked out the usual places like, Spencer's, Hot Topic, of course Walmart. Walmart probably isn't the best choice, but they do sell piercing jewelry, and I'm on it to at least see what they have. All in all, it was a very good decision in my part. I liked it, and I'm glad that I went through with it. I love how the piercings look, honestly, and I've always been a fan of them. I honestly want more, particularly bridge piercings, because those are really cool to me. I've also considered eyebrow piercings, but I feel like that would definitely make me cry. Anyway, that would be most of what I have to say about the piercings. So, thank you for listening. I hope that was interesting to you. But, even if not, thank you for watching and listening, and I will see you guys soon. So, goodbye.